Well, indeed, thank you very much, Caro. I'm currently standing by with the HF Group CEO, that is Bona Robert Kiba. Robert, thank you so much for speaking to us. And one of the things that we want to understand is what was your initial target when you issued this bond back in 2012?
In 2012, we issued two tranches of bonds. We issued the first 7 billion shillings 7-year bond in 2010, and in 2012 we issued the 3 billion 7-year bond. And it was basically to power our growth. It was actually to expand our mortgages, to be able to get into areas like SME banking, to be able to, lend to developers, and things like that. So what we can say is that we have actually been able to make some, to achieve that. We've actually been able to make some progress. Over the years, obviously, following the rate cap, the rate of that bond seemed initially very good. And then later, because of the rate cap, it actually became expensive. So it was actually at 13%. And so we are actually quite pleased to pay today, because obviously it presents now a significant saving in terms of interest expense that we are actually paying. So we are not only happy to be able to keep our promise to our investors by paying back the 3.162 billion shillings that we have paid today, but also then for us, it's just a way of saying that now we can actually be able to save some money from that cost that we've actually been covering every month.
All right, and in terms of the uptake, how good was it? Was it pleasant? Was it fair? Or was it a struggle?
We can say that it's actually been a very, very good run. Obviously, the market has slowed down in the post-rate cap period, but remember, this has been a 7-year bond. So we've had a very good run for about 5 years. The market became a little bit difficult following the elections. Now we are actually back to the market. The market is improving every month. So we feel that it was worth it. It was really totally worth it. The other thing that I must say is that our group then also has learned about bond issuing and the using of expanding the market space and using capital markets to actually be able to raise money. So that has also been quite good for us, actually.
All right. Again, there's a class of thought that actually believes that the Kenyan bond market is because of the low investor sentiments. They're saying it's a really such a struggle for anyone to come into the market. When you look at most of these pension funds, they're opting to invest more in government securities. Yeah. Is this a challenge that you've actually experienced?
Obviously, the market has changed. The bond market has changed a lot, mainly driven by the fact that there are actually a few companies, unfortunately, that have not actually been able to pay. To repay their bonds. We have a number of them in the market, the last few months especially, and that really then obviously significantly reduces the confidence levels in the market. And for us, paying this bond today obviously then helps actually to lift the market in some form. We do not plan to raise funds through the bond market now because obviously because of the prevailing condition, and we don't really need to raise money from the bond market today. We are actually raising money in different other ways. But you are right, the market is actually quite difficult now.
All right, let's talk about the HF counter for a minute. In terms of equity uptake, how is it performing so far?
We are actually quite pleased. Over the last few weeks, probably the last month or so, the share price has actually doubled. It has come down to a low of about 3.8 and rose up almost to double that, which is good, and it basically shows the confidence that the market is beginning to have on us, as a group. And I just want to say that our business is actually a strong business. We even just paying this bond today is a reflection that we are actually a strong business. Obviously, the share price is determined by the buyers and sellers, but we are actually pleased about the performance of our share price right now.
All right, and lastly, as we wind up, there's also the issue of the green bond. We saw Acorn come into the market. Yeah. They raised a significant amount from their first issuance, which was, I think, largely the first issuance in East Africa. Yeah. Is this an area that, as HF, you would likely consider in the future?
It's something we can consider in the future, but not right now. I think it's a very good concept. It's a very good concept. It's something that we would encourage more companies actually to get into. However, as HF, as I said, we do not plan to get into the bond market in whatever form or shape in the coming days, because there are other ways that we are looking at to actually be able to raise money. Part of it is obviously collecting deposits. Part of it could actually be sourcing money externally. So we've got quite a number of options, and at the moment we then don't think. But in future, if we were to think about a bond, it would be a green bond.
Indeed, thank you very much. And Carol, right there you have it. We'll be giving you a more updated version of this story and a more detailed and comprehensive in our subsequent bulletin. But for now, back to you.